Hi and welcome everyone to Nourishing Conversations. We're just going to wait while everyone logs into the room. So while everyone's logging into the room, I'm going to just read a bit of troubleshooting out to everybody. So what is a nourishing conversation? Well, nourishing conversations are conversations with real people about real food, health and or movement. You know, when you meet someone and you start talking to them about something you're passionate about and something that, and you really get each other and the conversation is healthy and positive. Well, that's what I call a nourishing conversation. So with lots of our events through Brisbane Paleo, we really found that people wanted to ask questions of our guest presenters. So to facilitate this, we have online webinars where, from the comfort of your own browser, you can listen to your favourite speakers in the real food world and have the ability to interact with them live via the chat functionality. So if this is your first webinar, hopefully you're logging in fine and not having any issues. During the call, it's not unusual to experience small delays. Could be many factors. It could be your connection, it could be our connection, it could be the presenters. So just bear with us. Sometimes you might ask a question and then it might just have a little bit of a delay about it getting answered. So just bear with that. If you get disconnected from the call, simply use the same link to log back in again. And if the facilitator gets disconnected, which is me, you should stay on the line and just follow all the prompts and it will guide you back into another Hangout and it'll keep going from there. But hopefully everything will go okay and we won't need to worry about any of that. But just if everyone gets disconnected or something's not happening, just use the Facebook event to go back to and type your questions or whatever in there. I'll just keep an eye on that. So in most cases, the format of our Nourishing Conversations are the same. So you'll get a little 5-minute blurb with me telling everybody about what the Nourishing Conversation is and how to log in. And then the guest presenter will speak and then you'll have some time to ask question and answers. If you think of a question during the call, feel free to write it in the chat box. I have enabled the chat box, so you should be able to chat now. So I've just displayed a little question there saying, if you can hear okay, please comment yes or no below. So if you could just start typing in those, because I can see that we've got about 4 people logged in at the moment. So we'll just wait and see if anyone can hear us. And also throughout the webinar, there might be a poll displayed. So just have a look at those and answer those along the way. And then we'll display the answers to those as well. Oh, great. People can hear us. Kylie can hear us. I'm excited. Okay, so I'm Leah Williamson and I'm from Brisbane Paleo and Nourishing Conversations. And I'm really excited to have Ivy from Paleo in Melbourne. Hi, Ivy.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, good. Glad to have you along. Glad to have this nourishing conversation with you.
Well, thanks for having me.
So I'm just going to read out a little bit of your bio for those people that don't know you. So you're a busy mum of 3. You run Paleo in Melbourne, a popular online hub, blog and event network that promotes products and events and services to support a nourishing real food lifestyle. You run cooking and workshops and events both locally and interstate. And you started the business in 2011 to document your own lifestyle changes since becoming a clean foodie. You believe in healthy, unprocessed foods that support the amazing machine our bodies are and know firsthand how it can change your life. You went from illness and despair to health and happiness. I just love that. Illness to despair to health and happiness. I love that. So you love to inspire and motivate people to live a healthier and more wholesome life. And you like to say, if anyone can do it, if I can do it, anyone can do it. I'm getting stuck on my words tonight. So welcome, Ivy. And I just would love if you'd just like to, just give a us a little rundown about yourself and have a little chat with us tonight?
Sure. So I wanted to start with the story of how I came into healthy eating, because I really feel like the people I come across through my business are actually very similar to me. We didn't just choose to eat healthy because we felt like it, or it was just we woke up one day and we felt like making that choice. It was actually much more extreme, and by that I mean I was actually to the point where I'm so unwell that I didn't have a choice. The only thing I could do to recover was to really go and make a mature decision, and that the best decision I could do for my health and for my family was to change the way I ate. And I found that was the quickest way and probably the easiest way for me to regain the health that I had lost. So, and that sounds dramatic, and actually even now, 4 years later, I still feel that yes, it was a pretty dramatic turning point for me, but the more people I talk to and the more people I meet through my business, I realized that I wasn't the only one who had a really dramatic turning point to change my lifestyle around. So that's where my passion stems from, and that's why I'm so passionate about spreading the word about choosing real foods. So I wanted to share with you how I got into eating healthy and why that was that I felt that I had no choice. Basically, I have 3 kids. I had 3 kids in 3 years, which was taxing in itself. It was physically quite demanding. Anyone who's had a child knows how tiring it can be, but I had 3 in 3 years. I had twin boys when I was 26 years old, and then by the age of 30, I had a 3rd child, a little girl. So throughout that pregnancy, I was fine. I just craved bread and white bread, chocolate, sugar, anything that was bad for me, I would eat, and quite happily so. So during that pregnancy, I stacked on the weight. So I started out being about 65 kilos. By the end of my 9-month pregnancy, I actually didn't step on the scales, but I think I was 93 or 94 kilos, which was a good 30 kilos overweight. I had the baby, she was fine, I was fine. I lost 12 kilos in the first week. I was holding that much fluid, and immediately starting feeling better about myself. But and this is the fact that's going to blow your mind. Then I started putting on weight again. So I was a good 25 kilos overweight, and I continued to gain weight even while breastfeeding, which was sort of the opposite of what I was expecting. So I was devastated. Like I enjoyed my my new baby. I knew she was my last one, so I really, really made sure I enjoyed her. But I was devastated about the way I looked, and I was devastated about how I felt about myself. I was a good 30 kilos overweight. I didn't feel like myself at all. But this is not all about looks. One thing that started happening when my newborn baby was about 3 months old was that I developed health problems, and they were quite severe. So every time I tried to eat healthy and well, and by that I mean I would try and swap my diet from my pregnancy diet, which consisted of white bread and white cheese, anything that was greasy and carb fueled. Every time I would swap my diet back to going to fruit, veggies, nuts, Greek yogurt, healthy, wholesome food, I would get intense stomach pains. And initially I thought it was just I'm having a bad day or a bad week. I would go back to the ice cream and the bread for a couple of days, then I would try again, and lo and behold, I would get really, really hooked again. And the stomach pains just got worse, and it would start within an hour or 2 after every meal, and it would last for all afternoon, often all morning and all afternoon. I would just lie on the couch, doubled over in pain, burning stomach pain. So I gave it a good few weeks trying to eat well, and every time I did, I would cook, and eventually I thought, what, this is not right. So I went to see my GP. He did a lot of tests. He got blood tests done, he did an ultrasound, we did all sorts of invasive stuff, and all the results came back negative. There was nothing wrong with me. So according to the doctor and the specialist, there was absolutely nothing wrong with me. There was nothing to explain that intense stomach pain that I had every time I tried to eat well. This was extremely discouraging for me because I was standing there wondering how I could fix my problems, and without a diagnosis, I couldn't fix anything. All I knew was that I was extremely overweight. I felt very, very uncomfortable in my own skin. I felt sick, and I couldn't eat anything healthy without feeling even worse. So I knew something was wrong. The last time I caught up with my specialist, I turned around in the door. This is when he basically told me that there's nothing wrong with you. That's good news. You know, you're fine. Have a good day. I turned around in the doorway and I said, if there's nothing wrong with me, what could it be? Like, honestly, like, obviously it's not normal to have stomach pains after meals. What do you think it could be? And he looked at me and he said, you could have developed food intolerances. And I said, towards foods I've eaten my entire life, like fruit and veg. And he goes, yeah. And I took that little piece of information home with me, and I sat down in front of the computer and I started Googling food intolerances that develop over time. And I came to the conclusion that I suffered from something called leaky gut syndrome. No GP, unless they're holistic, would be able to help you with that diagnosis. So I went and saw a naturopath, and with him I started working on my issues, and it turned out that basically it was a case of gut health gone terribly wrong. So my focus for the next 2 years was to heal my gut, and by working with a holistic practitioner and changing my diet, like I'm talking 180-degree change, I went from being in pain, feeling despair, crying every day on the couch for hours while my kids were, you know, the twin boys were playing and the baby was just lying in their cot sleeping. I was lying on the couch curled up in pain. I went from that to being able to enjoy life. I started losing weight, and within 14 months I'd lost 23 kilos. I had regained a passion for life. I felt well, I had energy, I slept well. My hair, my nails, my skin, everything just cleared up. I had a glow about me that I hadn't had in years. And I just loved life, and I enjoyed good food. So this is the journey I had to go through in order to, you know, really learn the benefits of eating real food. And it was quite profound, and it really changed who I am as a person. And I like to tell people that, you know what, it hasn't been a straightforward road. It wasn't just that I changed my diet and things were perfect, you know, ever since. They haven't been, but I have learned a lot. I've learned a lot about how my body works and what makes it tick. I've learned a lot about what a difference real food can make. And I've also learned that you don't have to go to any sort of extremes to reclaim your health. It doesn't have to be a full-on extreme version of paleo or primal or any sort of diet. I think if you could just take that little step and change a few things in your diet, a few items, swap them with real food, you will get amazing benefits in return. And the good news is that the real food tastes better than the fake foods. And I think this is really, really important to take on board, that you are not sacrificing anything when you choose real food over fake foods. Fake processed foods are designed to taste good, but if you just spend a few days, you know, 3 or 4 weeks eating mostly real foods, your taste buds will change. You will really appreciate the taste of real food. And the good news is you can have good fats, you know, good salts like sea salt, Celtic salt. So these are just some of the things that we're going to cover in our upcoming event in Queensland called the Healthy Swap. And it's just based on my own experiences changing a diet, you know, from a conventional diet. And I've got to say, my diet, my previous diet wasn't extreme in any way. I think I was actually eating what the majority of people would consider a fairly healthy diet. Yes, I was addicted to sugar, but all my main meals consisted of what most people classify as real foods, like skimmed milk or cereal for breakfast. I would have a piece of fruit for lunch, maybe a muesli bar, a cup of coffee, and then for lunch I would have a couple of sandwiches, and then followed by a family-sized block of Cadbury chocolate, which wasn't normal, obviously, but that was me being addicted to sugar. And then dinner would be pasta or rice or potatoes with a whole bunch of, often sauces out of a jar with a bit of mince or chicken. So there was nothing extreme about my previous diet. It just didn't do me any good. The changes we're going to talk about in the Healthy Swap, they're easy to do, and I hope it's doable for most of you. Like, I hope that both Leah and myself, we have done this big change, and for probably similar reasons. And I think what I'm going to talk about at the Healthy Swap will be educational and helpful. Absolutely.
Hi, Ivy.
Yeah.
Your microphone is just a little bit blurred, so people are just having a little bit of a trouble kind of hearing you. So I don't know if we can do anything about that or not.
I can't really do. I have the same headset as you, and I'm holding it right up against my mouth.
Yeah. But we might be able to after, if people want to just message me their email addresses, we can just send you a little bit of information.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's a lot of stuff on my website too.
So I just displayed before your website so people can get to it.
Great.
Yeah. So, like, my story, it's very similar to your story. After the birth of my son, I gained a lot of weight and just didn't feel like myself anymore. And, I was living on those white bread rolls that you bake in the oven. Those ones where you just kind of like heat them up. And then I was just like, well, I was lathering them in butter, luckily, not margarine. So maybe that was a good thing. But yeah, I was eating heaps of those. I just had no energy. I just wasn't feeling like myself anymore, and I just had enough. Because all my life, off and on, I'd tried every single diet. I kind of would try one thing, have some success, then go back to old eating habits. I was eating low fat everything. I knew I had a problem with dairy, but I would still drink it anyway. And sometimes I used to even just drink a glass of milk because I knew that it would give me that bloating kind of full feeling. I wouldn't feel very well, but I wouldn't really feel like eating after it. So, I had all kinds of stuff going on. And so I just thought enough is enough. And then I joined CrossFit, which was a bit of a strange move to do, but I had seen that lots of people had great success doing it. So I was like, right, I'm going to join CrossFit. But when I got there, what I discovered was it was just like not only about exercise, it was also about food and eating real food. So I went on a 30-day challenge, it was kind of like paleo. It had paleo principles, but you're still able to eat rice and yogurt. And it was a really good transition into it for us, because while I'd kind of dabbled with gluten-free and milk and dairy-free over the years, this was just a really good kind of stepping stone into getting rid of those and just replacing them with real food and really good nourishing food, and then understanding why through the exercise and the way that my body was moving. So it was just a really good place to be in. And then I went on and lost the 30 kilos. But what I really liked about what you were saying before was you just didn't change your diet and then all was good, because I can really identify with that as well. And I changed my diet and all seemed well, but then every now and then I'd still discover kind of underlying issues. And for me, a big part of it is stress. Like, I find that I get stressed quite easily, and and then when I feel stressed, then I kind of revert back to eating or wanting kind of sugary foods. But it might not be old sugary foods in the sense of the processed foods I used to eat before, but more like a lot of make my own chocolate or make my own paleo treats and stuff like that. So yeah, so it's always like a continuous journey that I'm on, going, well, I need to have a look why I'm doing that, and stress is a big factor, and
Yeah.
having children, sleep is always a big factor as well. I don't think I've had a really unbroken night's sleep in quite a while at the moment, so I think that plays a big issue in it as well. And those other factors I think is just also really interesting. And sorry, you go.
I was going to say, it's interesting how you mentioned stress and then recognizing stress foods, because food can be a crutch that we lean on when things are hard. And I recognize that in myself as well. I think that's a really important point, that when it comes to food and lifestyle, it's not just actual food, it's how you respond to what you eat. And it's important just to recognize that it's halfway there, I think.
Yeah, that's right. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to start typing away and asking about anything you want to ask. I know for me, when I was started in my journey, one thing that, and I think I've talked about it with the group before, one thing I always really liked to do was swap my chocolate, because I know chocolate's one of my weaknesses, especially Lindt, 90% chocolate, or Lindt with sea salt, I do have a bit of a fondness for. But what I tend to do is, when I feel like I'm probably having, 3 or 4 squares too much per night, I like to make some little kind of date and nut balls with a bit of cacao in them. And I just find that when I have that real kind of chocolate craving, if I have one of those or half of one of those, then within a few days, I find that I really just don't need it anyway. Like, I don't need the sweetness anyway. Do you have any foods like that, Ivy?
I actually do love a good 85% or 90% chocolate, and what I do, the greatest tip I found was to put that square of dark chocolate on my tongue and just let it melt. Not chew right through it and then swallow it, just put it on your tongue and let it melt for 5 or 10 minutes. And that would actually help. It would kill the craving, and you would have 1 or 2 and you'd be done after 1 or 2 squares. And, and that's the way where I found that I've actually, whatever it is that I need from dark chocolate, and I'm keeping its magnesium, I find that helps. Like, if I was chewing through half a bar, that would happen so quickly, and I wouldn't even enjoy the moment, and I wouldn't get that pleasure out of it. But if I just took 1 or 2 squares and just very slowly let them melt in my mouth, it worked a treat. Another swap that I really like to talk about is people who have been or are addicted to soft drinks. That's a really, really big one, because we're talking enormous amounts of sugar in just one glass. And the same thing goes for fresh juice, fruit juice. A lot of people don't realise how much sugar you get in a glass of juice. It's actually 20 grams of sugar in a glass of fresh orange juice. That's something like 5 teaspoons.
I know, I was shocked when I heard that, because for ages I always thought, giving my son a drink of juice was way better than anything. But, I might as well have been giving him soft drink. That's how much sugar is in it.
That's right. And I think a lot of people feel that way. So it's actually going to be covered in the Healthy Swap. We're going to talk about alternatives to drinks, soft drink and juice. And I've tried to design the talk so that we cover all the cravings and meals you might have throughout the day. So the very first craving I'm going to talk about is actually juice, and how you can make a really good substitute for just, say, a glass of orange juice. So what I like to do is to have a glass of room temperate water, or, if you prefer cold water, that's fine as well, but a squeeze of lemon. Squeeze some lemon in a glass of water. I know it sounds like a cliche, but it's really, really good for you. And you'll find if you keep doing that for a few weeks, you will find that your skin improves. It's a really good way to help your body detoxify. It helps your stomach prepare for a meal, because it will crank the production of stomach acid, which most of us are fairly compromised when it comes to gut health. So it's a really good way to increase stomach acid to digest the meal you're about to have. And you will get used to it. I know that that lovely glass of cold orange juice might taste sweet, and you know you might have had it for years. But if you can just wean yourself off the fresh juice and try a glass of water or a glass of water with a freshly squeezed lemon in it, it's a really beautiful habit to have, and I've done it now for a good 4 years.
Yeah. And it just sounds so simple, but it's it really works.
It works, and a lot of people find it like it's one of those things where they go, no, that sounds too easy. I'll tell you what, the biggest issue is probably for you to get used to just quit the sugar, because if there's anything in that glass of juice that you want, it's probably the sugar. It's amazing how addictive sugar can be.
Yeah.
Absolutely, right. There's a couple of other cravings. I have actually a whole bunch of cravings we're going to cover in a talk.
Right.
You covered chocolate, which I think is beautiful. I actually like to say chocolate is fine if you choose the real food diet, but like you said, go a higher percentage or go for anything above 70%. I prefer 85% and up. I think 90% is perfect. My little trick is, if I've had a day where I haven't eaten enough, and sometimes those days happen where I know I haven't eaten enough, because I get to 8 p.m. and I feel peckish, and when I've had enough filling meals throughout my days, I never feel peckish before bed. But every now and again, I will feel peckish and a little bit hungry by 8 p.m. and that's when I'll have one square of really dark chocolate and 85 and 90% clean chocolate. You can get that at Coles or Woolies, and I'll put just a slice, like a little slice of salted butter on top, and I'll eat that. Like I'll slowly let that melt in my mouth, and that actually satisfies the hunger, and I feel full, and I feel like I've had enough to eat now. So it's obviously calorie dense, but this only happens on the days where I know I can look back on that day and go, yeah, I didn't eat enough today. And it happens every once in a while.
You know what I really like to do as a dessert sometimes is get a date, like a medjool date, and then kind of take the seed out and then put like just a little piece of the 90, I like the 90% chocolate, but you could use, like you said, the 75 or whatever, and just put that in there and then just heat it slightly in the microwave, and it becomes a hot date, but the melted chocolate and the caramelization of the date just makes that perfect little bite of sweetness for you.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Another thing that's really good, if you just, it's really important too, like I find a lot of people who just started eating paleo don't eat enough food. You find that, Leah, that people sort of go from conventional diet to paleo and they're simply not eating enough calories for their body, like for what they need in a day. And
I know, and I remember I was just eating like how I would have thought I would have eaten when I was on a diet, like just a piece of meat and some vegetables, nothing else, no fat, nothing on there, just that kind of small meal, and then I would be hungry.
Yeah. So the thing is, obviously, when you do eat a real food diet, you've got to eat enough to fuel what you need to do in that day, whether it is being a mum, running around, or being a mum, running around, working and training and exercising. So most of us have really full days, and we need to fuel that activity. And I'm not talking about overeating or going overboard. I'm talking about eating enough for you to feel well, for you to cope with stress, for you to sleep well and produce the hormones you need to feel happy. So under eating is actually not a good thing, and that's something that's largely overlooked when people talk about conventional diets and eating limited calories. That's something, when it comes to paleo, you do actually address those issues, and we talk about eating enough for our needs. So one of those things, a good little way is to make sure you get enough protein and fat. So speaking of that, I want to talk about another little swap, and that's margarine. I know a lot of us feel like, we were raised eating margarine. Were you, Leah? Did you grow up on margarine?
Yeah. Every day it was white bread, margarine and Vegemite. That was my lunch every single day of my school life.
That's me. So that's more than a decade.
Yeah.
So I was the same. So I had whole grain bread with margarine and then cheese. That was, you know, cheese or processed ham.
Yeah.
A very simple swap, just in terms of feeding your body quality, is to swap that margarine with butter or ghee or coconut oil. So we're talking real quality fats that your body recognizes as a food. And it sounds really simple, and it sounds like it might be too simple, and you know, if that's not going to make a difference, trust me, it does. I like to talk about the biggest difference that I noticed after I changed my diet, and that was no more PMS. Was that an issue for you, Leah, PMS?
Yeah, that's right. Well, it certainly eased off I'd get these really kind of dark black moods right before, or the few days before, and yeah, that's certainly gone now.
Because I used to actually, on top of the whole, the dark gloomy moods, like I always wanted to kill my husband in the week.
Yeah, that's right. I was going to say that.
And every time it would be, you'd be surprised, like, oh, so that's why. Like, I'd get my period and I'd go, oh, so that's why I've been so cranky and that's why it's been so intolerable. But more physically as well, when I stopped eating margarine and seed oils like canola and other vegetable oils, I actually found that the inflammation disappeared. So I didn't feel any pain anymore. I didn't get a lot of back pain. I didn't get cramps. I didn't get period pain. I didn't feel dizzy and nauseous. None of the stuff that I would normally get in the week where I had my period. So I know this is lady stuff, but it's just, people think it's normal. We all assume that that's what it is to have your period. And I've got to say, it went away as soon as I replaced all my seed oils and my margarine with butter and other real fats.
Yeah.
So,
I was just going to say, we've just been away on holidays and we've been eating out a fair bit, and I can really notice the difference, you know, because you have no choice, I guess, when you're eating out and you order something, it's usually going to have the canola oil or vegetable oil on it.
yeah.
And I could really feel like I used to get some lower back pain, and I could really feel that starting to come back again during that time we were away, and yeah, just feeling kind of some fluid and puffy and stuff as well. And you know, it's amazing what that food can do to you, and you don't even realize.
I actually, because we've been travelling in the last 3 years, we've been going away for 5 or 6 weeks at a time, and we've gone overseas. We've stayed in places where we had, you know, a beautiful breakfast buffet every day, and like you said, eating out, but not cooking from scratch. So even though I would pick fairly real food friendly options, like, you know, I would have eggs and bacon for breakfast and salads and, you know, meats, I would feel very sluggish at the end of a trip, and I'd come home and I wouldn't feel right. Not awful, but I wouldn't feel right, and I found that wouldn't go away until I started cooking from scratch again, and I knew every single ingredient in my food. So it certainly makes a big difference, and I think I've always put it down to the fats that the food was cooked in, or the fats they used to prepare the food. Not to mention fillers like breadcrumbs, like if you have meatballs or even soup and gravies when you eat out, a lot of them contain things like dairy, cream, breadcrumbs. Those are all things that I no longer eat or buy or prepare at home. And I would think bread in particular would bloat me after a while. So I'm not one of those people that will have bread once and feel really full. It's more that it's a build up for me.
Yeah.
For a few weeks where I just start feeling sluggish. That's probably the best word. I just feel sluggish. I don't feel right. I don't feel like I have the energy in the tank that I normally do.
Where I'm so sensitive, I get stomach pains virtually a little while after.
Yeah.
And yeah, I get that cramping for quite a bit after, and yeah, then I'm tired for a few days after, and I even know I've definitely been exposed to some gluten along the way over our holidays, you know, unintentionally. And today, kind of being back home and being on back on our normal diet and cooking our own food, I've just had, well, it's pretty hot here in Brisbane anyway, but I've just been almost feeling like I'm kind of going through a detox again. I'm just sweating so badly, and I can just feel kind of like those toxins coming out of my body.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good feeling as well as uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable, but it's good because you know that, okay, I'm getting rid of that stuff and I'm starting afresh, which is always nice.
Yeah, that's right.
When it comes to detoxes, I find it amusing at this time of year how people will all, jump on board on, the big detoxes, like they'll do the lemon detox, or they'll do this and that, and they'll do the juice fast, and drink nothing but smoothies for 3 days. There's a lot of that going on at this time of year, and I've got to say, if you have lungs, skin, a healthy stomach with intestines, and you can do a pee and a poo, you're actually detoxing just fine. All you got to do is to make a conscious decision to eat real food over fake ones. And physically, your body will actually take care of the rest.
Yeah, that's so true.
Sometimes you might need more support, and by that I mean you might be better off working with a practitioner, like you might need a few extra supplements or some herbal remedies to take the pain or take the edge of it. You might be really compromised, which means you need more help. But most of us, if we have skin, kidneys, intestines, lungs, we're actually perfectly able to detox on our own simply by eating real food.
Yeah.
And moving. Do you find that moving helps?
Yeah, I definitely need to throw some moving in there. So, yeah, just even while we're on holidays, just getting up, going for a walk along the beach, and just some slow movement. It doesn't have to be CrossFit or anything like that. Just, just getting out there and a brisk walk or a yoga session. I just find even that's enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I've really applied to less is more. When it comes to food as well as training, less is more for me. I like to keep it simple. I've really burnt out on stress. And that happened even while I was eating really well and doing everything by the book when it came to exercise. It was simply too much for me. So that's a very interesting factor to consider as well, that you've got to put yourself first, and your body is different to anyone else's. You've got to do what works for you.
I've been really enjoying some primal play. We had Daryl Edwards here, the fitness explorer, and he kind of took us through a session of just playing. And my husband and I have been getting up of a morning and just doing some of those movements. And they're not even strenuous or, fast movements, but you sure feel like you've had a workout afterwards. And I think that's important also. Like, you don't have to put that stress on your body and do go and lift some heavy weights when you can get just as much out of some, crawling around on the ground or acting like an animal.
And that's it. And as weird as it sounds, it's more for me. I feel good when I've moved a little bit. It doesn't have to be much, but I feel really stiff and horrible when I haven't moved. So it's more like, how do I feel when I haven't moved? Well, I feel stiff and awkward and weird and, generally slow. But if I move, even if I just do 5 minutes of stretching on the floor or use my spiky ball, do you have one of those where you do like a foam roller, something like that, and you just move a bit or a brisk walk around the block. Even something as little as that helps. So I find, how do I feel if I don't move versus how do I feel if I even just move for 5 or 10 minutes?
I even feel like some deep breathing sometimes is just as good as moving. Just sitting still for the 5 minutes and doing some really deep breathing, if you can't get out and do any exercise at all, sometimes is enough.
And that's tapping into meditation, which is something I really need to do, because I know for me, along with diet and the right kind of exercise, I think meditation is the last big hurdle for me. And it's something I've worked on for the last 6 months. And you're right, it makes a huge difference to how I feel and how I cope with stress in my life. I feel a lot more equipped to handle life's little stressors and life's, bigger stressors when I just take the time to breathe. And
I have a really bad habit of staying up late after the kids have gone to bed, eating my dark chocolate, sitting in front of the computer, and then next thing I look, it's like 11 o'clock at night, and then I have a lot of trouble kind of winding down because I've been sitting in front of the computer. So I've got a little app, it's called 5 Minutes of Calm, and I set that reminder off at 9 o'clock, and it goes off and it tells me that I have to go and do my 5 minutes of calm, and that's when I know I have to start getting ready, start winding down, turn everything off, and then just do that 5 minutes of deep breathing before I go to bed.
Oh, great. Do you have Flux on your computer?
I don't on my new laptop. I've got to get that on there, but we do on our main computer, and I think that definitely helps a lot as well.
Yeah, I find that, I would sleep when I use that. Sorry, I'm put that in now, so that's in the notes.
I think I'm hyped up from chocolate.
Yeah, I find, because there's caffeine in chocolate, and that's why I like to say to people, you don't have it too late in the day.
Definitely.
So, yeah, because I'm a person that, I'm sensitive to caffeine, but I love chocolate, so I would never have a coffee after 12 p.m, but I'll have a chocolate at 8 p.m. And I've learned the hard way that I can't have any more than 1 or 2 sweets.
Yeah.
Otherwise I'll be up for a long time, and I really, really love my sleep. So, So I use Flux on my computer, and as Leah said, she does on her main computer as well. And it's a software that takes the blue light out of the screen, so it actually makes you sleepy when you're meant to be sleepy. It doesn't hype you up.
Do you have any other like bedtime rituals that you do? Do you do some like the Epsom bath, foot soak type thing?
Yeah, I do put I'd say 5 or 6 nights a week while I'm watching TV. For half an hour, I have my feet in a foot soak with a cup of Epsom salt, which is magnesium fluoride or magnesium sulfate salt. So you just dissolve that in a hot foot soak, hot water, and I'll sit there for 30 minutes till the water goes cold. Then I'll have feet air dry, and that alone makes me really sleepy. And then I go to bed and I read a book for about half an hour, and by 10 p.m. Most nights I'm fast asleep.
Yeah.
So that's one of my rituals, and I find if I've had a really sort of wide day where I'm running around, I find that it helps me just to go for a walk. Once I've put the kids to bed, I'll go for a walk, and that will calm me down and make me tired, and I'll go to sleep quicker.
I think it's important, like we do with our children, we always give them a bit of a bedtime ritual, and I think parents or even as adults, you kind of forget to have that ritual yourself, and I think it's a really good way of preparing yourself and getting ready for sleep is to kind of have those little things that you know are going to relax you and get you into that deep sleep.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to food as well, like I know that when I have the kids at home and it's not a weekend and there's no occasion, we would never give them sugar after dinner. So when they ask for dessert in our household, it is a bowl of Greek yogurt with some chopped up fruit, or cinnamon, or a tiny bit of honey drizzled on top. But they're just really happy with that Greek yogurt, full fat yogurt. And that's another food we're going to cover in the health healthy swap. For the people who can tolerate dairy, that's a really good option. Just to get some probiotics in, get good full fat dairy in, and none of that sugar that hypes them up before bed.
Yeah, that's great, because my kids as well, we give them full fat Greek yogurt, none of the flavored stuff because that's got all the hidden sugars in it, and they just get straight frozen blueberries. They just it costs me a fortune in organic blueberries in this house.
Yeah, same.
They're like nature's candy.
And they're actually really sweet. Like once you get used to eating a diet without added sugars, you actually really appreciate the sweetness of real food. Have you found that? But once you change the diet, things just taste a lot sweeter than they used to.
I know. Even tomatoes, I find now are so much sweeter. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially homegrown. Homegrown, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
So there's so many interesting things. I've got to sat down and started the presentation for the Healthy Swap, and I was basically looking at the foods I used to eat compared to what I eat now. It was quite an eye-opener that, you know what, the majority of the foods that most people would consider a healthy, normal diet are actually hugely processed. And by process, I mean, you know, not only are they nowhere close to how nature intended them to be, they're full of added sugars, fillers, chemicals like preservatives. All those things affect how we behave and how we feel. And it's sort of been a walk down memory lane to look up all those foods and then realise how long I've come. It's come a long, long way.
Yeah.
Just like swapping out. And that's not even a huge amount of what I used to eat. That's just talking a few staples, like a few pantry staples and a few treats, breakfast items. Like if you swap some of them with real food, you will actually, that alone will make a difference in how you feel. So I've really come to appreciate how food can be the biggest healing factor you'll ever do in your life.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to our event. You're going to be up here on Friday, the 6th of February.
Yes.
And we've still got a few places left at our event. It's at the Stafford Chiropractic and Wellness Centre. It's a really great space there, and just enough space to have a really great intimate conversation with everybody about these healthy swaps. And you know, I'd really recommend this event to people that are really looking at starting their real food journey. So you might have like a mother or a sister or your friend, and you know, you might already be starting down this journey yourself and know the benefits, but it would be really good to bring one of those people along that are still kind of a bit on the fence. Wouldn't you agree, Ivy?
Yeah, and this is particularly why we decided to do this event. Like, we didn't want it to be a strict paleo event, but the focus was all about paleo. And as much as we love paleo, and you know, obviously we have done it for now about 3 or 4 years each, I think paleo can intimidate people who are just needing a bit of a gentle change. So the Healthy Swap event is all about just teaching people that, you know, there are some healthy substitutes of food choosing to eat now. And I don't want to put a label to it. Like, I don't want to talk about this is paleo and this isn't paleo. I just really want people to recognise what real food looks like with everyday foods. And then, as much as possible, choose to eat real foods. So like you said, it's a perfect introduction event for people who are literally just starting out, who just need somewhere to begin their real food journey. Whether they end up doing full paleo or primal, or you know, whatever they want to label it later on, that's fine. I just really want this event to be about including people who just need somewhere to start.
Yeah, that's fantastic, because there's so much conflicting dietary advice around, and it's you just don't know where to begin. And you know, do I start here? Do I start there? It's just so much confusion. So it's really great to have this event so that we can kind of clarify some of those things, and it's all about individual, and we'll guide them through, you know, what they might want to change a couple of things of, and see how they feel going that, and then within you know, a few days, they will just notice the benefits of eating real food straight away. And that with all the food labels around at the moment, it is the underlying premises of most of it is just eating real food.
That's it. That's really all there is, and you'll get such big returns from just doing that simple swap. So, and also we are going to prepare a PDF based on the presentation. So anyone who comes to the event will get a PDF sent by email the next day that they can use and look up and use as a reference when
that's great.
So we can compile that into a nice list, and then next time they go shopping, they can choose the real food items over the fake food ones, using examples like margarine, and then swap that for butter. That's one example. But we're going to cover heaps and heaps, and we're going to chat about it. We're going to have a healthy discussion, hopefully get some good questions, and just get people going.
Yeah, that's great. So that's going to be on February the 6th. It's a Friday night, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to having you up here in Brisbane.
I can't wait to come.
and it's really hot here at the moment, and there's a massive storm brewing outside, so I'm hoping the weather's going to be a bit better for you when you get here.
Hopefully, yeah. I'll bring some of the cold weather from Melbourne. It's been really cold here, so.
A little bit would be nice.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So, Ivy, do you have anything else you want to say before we sign off?
Nothing apart from people stretch bed because it's nearly 9:30.
Oh, it's 8:30 here.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so yeah, we have another hour then.
Yeah.
I'm about to hit the sack. And yes, please come, or if you know someone who needs to be there to learn, please send them our way, and we would love to catch up and meet you all. So yeah, you know, I'm flying all the way from Melbourne, and I would just love to connect with more people in Brisbane and have a chat about real food.
Thank you. Well, thanks for joining us, Ivy, on Nourishing Conversations. And if people want any more information or want to talk more, then just give me an email. It's brisbanepaleo@gmail.com, and we can sort that out too. And people should be sent some links so they can listen to the replay if they want to go back and kind of replay anything that they didn't quite hear at the start due to the microphone kind of issue, but it should be all good. So thanks, Ivy.
Thanks, Leah.
And see you later, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.